Okay, going back to the generation options, we've looked at the first three tabs, but we haven't yet looked at the variations tab, so let's do that now. And I think this one is actually probably the simplest one of all. So um, let's start at the top. Apply vertical offset. Uh, zero, like never, 0%, always 100%. So we have that range. Okay? So what does vertical offset mean? Vertical offset means this uh, gizmo here, which just basically transposes the melody up and down by scale steps. Not absolutely. So in other words, it's not by semitones or whole tones, but by scale steps. So what I mean is, if you're in the scale of G and you went from you would go from F sharp to G, that would be one scale step. From G to A would be another scale step. Okay, so I guess it's simpler just to think of it for C major. If you go from C to D, that's one scale step, but it's two half steps, right? It's two half steps, but it's one scale step. When you go from D to E, it's one scale step, but it's only a half. It's only a half step. Okay, so enough for that music theory. So anyway, that's what this thing does. So don't get confused when you see like a 1 or -1. It's talking about scale steps, and don't confuse that with whole steps or half steps. Okay, because a scale step can be either one. It can be a whole step or a half step. Just depends on the scale, and it depends on what degree you're at on the scale. Okay, so I've driven that point home. All right, so what we can do, we'll go to the apply vertical offset. I'm going to hit 100%. Okay, so that means that every time you create a new variation, it's all of them are going to have a we're going to apply some degree of vertical offset. In other words, up or down on some random basis, up or down, but it's going to have some kind of offset. Okay, so right now, let me turn these off just so, yeah, that's off. These are the vertical flips, right? Vertical mirroring. Okay. All right, so all these operators are set to 0. Now, so we've got our variation apply vertical offset 100% of the time. Now watch what happens. Okay, so what's going on here? There's no vertical offset in bar 1. There is a vertical offset in bar 2 of -1. There's a vertical offset in bar 3 of -1. And there's a vertical offset of -2 scale steps in bar 4. So what happened to bar 1? There's no vertical offset. Well, let's do it again. Hit the Thunderbolt, generate another variation. And again, bar 1 has no vertical offset. Bar 2 does, a -1. Bar 3 has a +2 scale steps. And bar 4, -1. Let's do it one more time. Okay, again, no offset in bar 1. Bar 2 has got +2. Bar 3 is +2. Bar 4 is +1. So here's the simple qualification, and that is when you use it looks as if when you use these variations, they don't apply to the first bar. Okay, and I tested that with a 2-bar, okay, a 2-bar preset. So here, if I generate it, notice there's no vertical offset here, but there is a -2 here. I'll do another one, none here, +2 there. I'll do another one, none here, +2 there. Another one, none here, -1 there. So that's how this works. This these variations seem to now let's test it with the vertical inversion. Let's bring that back to 0, and we'll hit the vertical inversion. And the vertical inversion is flipping vertically, okay? So if you had C up to G, C4 up to G4, the vertical flip would be G4 down to C4, right? Okay. So let's see if the same principle applies. In other words, that you'll get, if we set it to 100% vertical flip, vertical inversion, we'll always get it on all the bars except the first bar. That's the rule, right? So let's go back. Well, let's try it here since we're here. Okay, yep, we got the vertical flip. There's the icon, it's blue. It's not blue there. Do it again. Yep, it's blue. We got the vertical flip. Do it again. Yep. Do it again. Yep. Yep. But it's never, you never see it on the first bar. So what we see now is that these operators, these variations on these operators will not change, will not apply to the first bar. That seems to be the rule. Now, I haven't tested all of them, but if it's consistent, then I expect them not to apply across the board on the first bar. Okay, so we've got the vertical offset, set that back to 0. Now we've got the horizontal vertical inversion. And then we have the horizontal inversion. Okay, I don't know why these two aren't next to each other, but let's do the horizontal inversion, see what happens. Okay, so there's the horizontal on bar 2, not on bar 1. Do it again. Same result, same result. Yep, yep, yep. So it seems like across the board, whatever variation you apply on tab 4, the variation tab, or it's only going to affect it'll affect all the bars that are created except the first bar. Okay, so horizontal offset, let's try that. We'll do that 100%. And yep, the horizontal offset is the first operator. Now here, now this is +4. Let's try it again. Nope. See, it's not consistent. The horizontal offset appears to apply even in bar 2. Okay, because we're getting it in bar 2, even in bar 1. Bar 2 is +4. Bar 1 is +2. Let's do it again. Yep, we're getting it +4, +2, +4, +4, +4, +2. And let's test it with a 4-bar preset. 4-bar. Yeah, let me do this one. Okay. Okay, so here's 4 bars. Let's see what happens. Generated. And by the way, let's just double check. Yep. So a reminder, these presets are independent. I'm sorry, these variations, the variations, all these options under the lightning bolt. In other words, when you right click on the lightning bolt, all these generation options are independent of the preset. You know, you might think, well, you'd have a preset that saves, you know, everything, but it doesn't. It doesn't save the generation options, okay? Just want to make that clear. And that's probably a good thing. So we've got the horizontal offset set to always with 4 bars. So let's see what happens. We got it there, 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 there in bars 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on. Again, it's on bars 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit it again. Yep. We're getting the horizontal offset on bar 1. All right. So let's recap that now. Okay. We don't get a vertical offset in bar 1 when we use this. We don't get a vertical inversion in bar 1. We don't get a horizontal inversion in bar 1, but we do get a horizontal offset in bar 1. Okay, so that's just something to be aware of. There's probably some good logic behind that. I haven't really thought about it. So let's try the horizontal inversion. Not sure we tested that. That's a mirror image. All right, so let's do 100% on that, and we'll hit the thunderbolt. Yeah, right. See, it's not applying to bar 1, but it is applying in bars 2, 3, and 4. One more time. Nope, not in bar 1, but it is applying. Okay, so far, these first 4 will not alter, will not make any changes to bar 1 except the horizontal offset. Okay, let's try the apply contour transformation, and we'll hit always. See what happens. Okay, this icon is the contour transformation. We're getting in all 4 bars. Bar 1 is plus 0.7, bar 2 is 1.4, bar 3 is 1.0, bar 4 is negative 1.3. Let's hit it again. Yep, plus bar 1 plus 1.5, bar 2 negative 0.6, bar 3 negative 1.8, bar 4 plus 1.7. Okay, so we can make a note of that the contour transformation will apply to bar 1. So far we've got 2 will apply to bar 1, apply horizontal offset, apply contour transformation. Okay, so let's set this back to 0 and then use rest. Let's try that, see what happens. Yep, we got a rest in all 4 bars there. You can see these lines here, these blue lines are rests. Okay, and by the way, you can change the size of these by dragging on them. I mean, this is really sweet, this implementation of rests. I mean, rests, I don't know if you've ever used a scoring program like Finale or Sibelius, but you know, entering rests in those programs, I mean, it's just not that easy. You have to switch, you have to make a switch, and it's easy to kind of screw that up, you know, forget, and then it can get quite complicated when you have more complicated rhythms like dotted rhythms and things like that. Entering rests can be really tricky. But with this implementation, you're just basically moving the rest wherever you want and sizing it. How, you know, you can size it to whatever you want. I mean, this thing is, man, Sibelius, seriously, Sibelius would kill for that capability. Yeah, this is awesome. Okay, so getting back to our rest variation, if we hit 100%, you're going to have rest in every single bar. Okay, so I'm clicking through the variations, and you can see these. You're going to have these blue rest indicators in every single bar. Okay, so we've covered rests, held notes. Where are held notes? I don't. Well, a held note is kind of like a what do you call it when you have that that bar that connects two notes? Let's see what that does. A tie. I'm sorry for going blank on that. I mean, to my mind, a held note is like in music notation is a tie, right? So let's say in bar 4 you have a quarter note, and then in bar 1 you have a quarter note. You can put a tie over the those two notes, the one in bar 4 and bar 1, and you hold the quarter note in bar 4 over until you know over into bar 1. So you end up with a half note. 2 quarters make a half. Okay, so I'm not sure what a held note, how that works here. That's something new. So let's take a look at that. So variations, we're going to do, let's do 100% so we see it in all 4 bars. And let's turn off these guys. Okay, so we only have one variation. Let's see what happens. Okay, so what's the held note here? Well, first of all, notice that the bar is green, not blue. So that's the difference between a rest and a held note. Let's listen to this thing. I have no idea what these green bars are doing. Let's stop. Maybe there's a clue tip that'll come up. Oh, caesuras. Held note green, usually at the end of a melody section. So to place it, right click to remove the arrow, click inside the arrow to flip rest or hold or held note. To flip it, click inside. So when we click in there, okay, so it's like a 3-way toggle. So now it's off. So on bar 1 we've got a quarter note on beat 3 and a quarter note on beat 1. Okay, so obviously a rest takes those notes away. And then this is the held note. Let's toggle through that again. Oh, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. The held note is the note before takes on the added rhythmic value of the 2 notes that follow. Okay. So you see that? So here we've got, in beat 2, we've got a quarter note. If we hold this quarter note for this length of time, which is 2 beats, we're going to have a length of 3 quarter notes, or a dotted half, right? Now, if I'm right, if we change the length of this to a quarter note, oops, yeah, now it should hold it just for a half. So, and that's what it does, right? Yeah. Now it's holding it for a half. Very good, very good. Now we can hold this C for a eighth by moving this here, and then wait a minute. No, we don't want to do that. We got to move it here, and then drag this, shorten this. There we go. There we go. That's working. Okay. So you've got 2 eighth notes here. If I put the hold over the second eighth note, it's going to extend the length of the first note, or the rhythmic duration, I should say, by that amount, by the E. So the E is an eighth, so we're going to increase the rhythmic duration of the C by an eighth, and we do that with this held note arrow. Okay, great. So that's how that works. Okay, so that's held notes. And if you right click on the held note, it's going to eliminate it. Okay, and yeah, all right, so let's do another. Now we didn't get it. Yeah, we did. I was going to say we didn't get a held note in the first bar, but we did. Why am I not seeing anything in bar 4? I'm getting nothing in bar 4. Why am I thinking, if we eliminate this, maybe the held note, maybe it has something to do with, in the last bar, if you have held notes, but we're not seeing any bar there. Let's try another preset. Let's try the 2 bar. Okay. And we've got the held note at 100%. So let's see what happens there. Okay, well, we're seeing the second bar there. So we got a held note in bar 1 and a held note in bar 2. Let's click it again. Yep. Okay. That seems to be working as expected. No problem. Okay. So if we go back to a preset with 4 bars, okay, that one. Okay. And we hit. Okay. Yeah, maybe that was a bug that eliminated that 4th measure for some reason, and we cleared it out. Yep, it's working perfectly. Okay. So that's your held note variation. Okay, we had it at 100, so let's take that back down to 0. Now, okay. Now look at the last 5 of these variations mirror the, no, I'm sorry, mirror, I'm sorry, they mirror the 5 variations here that appear under the variation icon. Okay, rhythm, displacement, simplify, split long notes, connecting notes, leading notes. So if you look at these, are the exact same variations. So what's the difference? Okay, the difference is that these will apply these apply globally. In other words, when you set rhythm displacement, or let's do a simple one, split long notes. If you set this to 100%, all right, and then you create a new variation by clicking on the Thunderbolt, it's going to apply that split long notes to all 4 measures. In other words, to the entire melody. Whereas this control, this icon here, allows you to just apply the variation to 1 bar. That's the difference. Okay, this allows you to apply the variation to 1 bar only and not the other bars, whereas under here it's going to apply it to all the bars, or if you have 100%. Now obviously if you just say like 25%, then it may not apply the split long notes to any of them, or it may just 25% of the time. Okay, so let's check it. Let's just see if we make this a real low number, like 10%. Okay, and we create a variation. Let's see if the split long notes, it's not there, not there, not there, didn't apply it, not there. Okay, so 10%, nothing got applied. Let's do it again. I think if something was applied, this would light up blue, right? So let's see if we keep clicking this. Oh, there was one, I missed it. I'll keep clicking until I get a blue. Okay, here. Okay, so here we got a split long notes. So you can see 10%. What did I click? Like 4 or 5 times. Here we get one here. Clicking again, we get one here. It's just random. Now we don't have any. Now we have one there. Now we have none. 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 Like these are basically coin flips. Or better, to put it better, like rolling the dice. Okay? Rolling the dice. And you're seeing how many times, like double one would come up or something like that. Okay, yeah, so that's how that works. Beautiful. That's not hard to understand. So yeah, we can tweak, we can choose any of these 5 variations, which we've already looked at and figured out for the most part. And we can decide, like, if we want the dice, the Thunderbolt to create melodies with, some of these variations, or if, we may not, we want to turn these to 0 and just kind of control things ourselves. But that's what's going on. Okay, so we've really covered everything. We've covered all 4 tabs of the generation options, and that's a lot of ground. It's a lot of ground, but I mean, this is really, when you think about it, this is really the whole, the gist of this melody editor is using these kind of random variations and your own ear, putting those 2 things together. And it's kind of like just it's all based on trial and error, but to get trials we have to have variations. We need some kind of randomness to jumble the dice. So that's what essentially these variations are functioning to do that for us, to give us a lot of different variations, so that some of them turn up to be really useful. Okay, so that covers, we've completed our look at the generation options that appear under the Thunderbolt, and we're on the home stretch now. So we've got to finish up on to see there's mutation options. So I'll see you in the next video.